A show created by the fans, for the fans. We are your home for Ohio State football coverage all year long. The Scarlet and Gray Podcast, a Network 216 production. Live weekdays on the Network 216 YouTube channel. Send us all your questions and comments on Twitter at VSG_podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Tyler Johnson, Jordan Dalton, and Nick Leisure.
Good evening, Buckeye Nation. Welcome to your Ohio State versus Minnesota game day preview here on the Scarlet Gray Podcast. I am Tyler Johnson. Really appreciate everyone just kind of being patient with us. Just so you guys know, the reason we haven't had a couple live shows over the last couple weeks here, my grandmother passed away suddenly, so it's just been a lot in order to get those scheduled right now. Started a new job too, so just trying to work out the logistics there. But I just wanted to say I really appreciate everyone that's still tuned into the show. I know sometimes when you get off a routine, people look for other shows, but we really appreciate you sticking with us during this time. So thank you guys for that. We do hope to get back to live shows again shortly, but at least for the meantime, we are still going to have your game day previews throughout the season. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that. So thank you guys so much for your support and understanding during this time. And Nick Leisure will be back at some point as well. They've been he and his family been having some things go on as well, just that really require his attention. So he'll be back soon. But just thank you guys for being the best fans we could ever ask for. Before we get into your Ohio State versus Minnesota game day preview, go ahead, drop a like on the video if you would. Again, this helps push the show out to those who have not yet seen the Scarlet and Gray Podcast on YouTube. But if you are someone that listens on audio only, go ahead, go over to Spotify or Apple Podcasts, search the Scarlet and Gray Podcast, or if you're already subscribed to the show, or follow the show on there, whichever. They both word them differently, and you automatically get the episode once it is uploaded. Either way, go give us a 5-star review. What that does is really helps recommend the show to those that have not yet seen the Scarlet and Gray Podcast, but also, especially on Apple, I always remind people of this, and it's important. Michigan fans are still giving us 1-star reviews on there. And again, they completely tanked the rating. That's why our rating overall is like a 3.2, 3.3 overall. At one point, it was a 5, and they completely tanked it. So if you guys would go over, give us a 5-star review, cancel out those negative reviews, we really would appreciate that. Also, the Scarlet and Gray Podcast is proud to be partnered with Wedgewood Estates, 600 South Trimble Rd in Mansfield. Wedgewood Estates, the area's premier senior residential community. Stop in for a visit or schedule a tour online at wedgwoodseniorliving.com. That is wedgwoodseniorliving.com. The Buckeyes return home to the shoe, and they get to do so with a rare night game as they will take on the Minnesota Golden Gophers Saturday night at 7:30. I actually will be in attendance for that game. Nick actually got some free tickets through work, so we will be able to be in attendance for that game. Really looking forward to it. It's been a little while since I've been to an Ohio State football game. I don't get to go to many, even though I live an hour away. So looking forward to that. But Minnesota comes to town. The Golden Gophers this season are 3-1. They are currently third in the Big Ten. So far, they beat Buffalo 23-10. They destroyed Northwestern State, as you can imagine, 66-0. Lost at Cal 27-14 and beat Rutgers 31-28. So the schedule has not been tough by any means. I think losing that game to Cal is kind of a big deal. At the same time, Cal's got a freshman quarterback. Not even going to try and pronounce his name. You guys know who he is. That is currently just lighting it up. So I'm not really surprised that they lost that game, but Minnesota is 3-1, and they will travel to the Horseshoe for a night game. Big thing to note in this game is that star running back Darius Taylor has been out for multiple weeks due to a hamstring injury. He's had him throughout his career. No word yet on if he's going to play or not against the Buckeyes. I'm going to lean towards no just because we got heard otherwise. And that's just, it's a huge loss for Minnesota. He probably one of the more talented backs in the Big Ten, but it looks like they will not have him for this game. So just something to keep in mind. Minnesota is actually a lot more of a passing team than each pass, and that could be again with the injury to Darius Taylor, but also I think it's due to um, just having a quarterback with the talent of freshman Drake Lindsey, 6'5", 230-pound freshman. Right now, nearly 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He has played pretty well so far this season for Minnesota. A lot of people are trying to say he's going to end up being one of the better quarterbacks in the Big Ten. I mean, hard to argue with that right now. He's probably the best quarterback Minnesota's had in quite some time. So that's good for him for sure, and that's good for Minnesota. I do think it'll be a little bit of a challenge for the Buckeyes, but let's just understand here that he has not seen a defense like Ohio State to this point, and he's also completing 66% of his passes. He did really good against Rutgers, as he was named Big Ten Freshman of the Week with completing 75% of his passes for 324 passing yards. A big quarterback. He's not a guy with a lot of mobility, big time pocket passer. So I think the key here is just get pressure on him early in this game, make him uncomfortable. It's going to be his first big. I mean, he played at Cal, but I mean, if you're comparing Cal and Ohio State, in all honesty, and respect to Cal, it's not really a comparison there. So that'll be his first big test. Excuse me. Minnesota does have at wide receiver. They kind of spread the ball out a little bit as far as weapons that they get the ball to. Javon Tracy does lead the Golden Gophers with 204 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns, but also Jalen Smith. He's another freshman. He's got 179 yards, 2 touchdowns as well. But he's only on 6 receptions, so he's been more of a deep threat so far. And then, of course, Lemeke Brockington. He's got 177 yards and 1 touchdown. So it's a kind of like a big 3 for Minnesota, with Smith being more of the deep threat. They do get their tight ends involved a lot. 17 catches between the two, between Biber and Gears. And Gears, my apologies. Gears also has 2 touchdowns, so they get them involved. But again, I really do think this offense goes, but with Drake Lindsey as he goes, and so I'm expecting in this game they're going to air it out. When you're missing a running back of Darius Taylor's capability, you're gonna struggle. And Fame, I Jaboy. I know I pronounced his name wrong, so I apologize for that. Another freshman, 173 yards rushing, 1 touchdown, 4.9 yards a carry so far this season in replacing Taylor. Another guy that's also gotten a good amount of carries is Grant Washington, another freshman, 126 yards, 6.3 yards a carry. They've been replacing Taylor at a fairly reasonable rate, but they have not, again, seen a defense to the capability that Ohio State has. So I think the big thing you want to do, just take away, make them one-dimensional. I'm not saying Drake Lindsey can't make plays, because I do think he's a pretty solid quarterback from what I've seen. But again, he's a redshirt freshman. He's making his first start, big-time road start, and it's at the shoe at night. Get pressure on him, making him uncomfortable. If you take away the run game, you make him be one-dimensional. That forces Lindsey to be the main guy as far as beating. Excuse me. As far as beating the Buckeyes defense with his arm. And again, I do think he has the talent to do it, but I just don't know if he's able to be consistent enough in this game. So when you look at Minnesota, that's what I look at on the offensive side of the ball. On the defensive side, well, the other thing I should probably mention on the offensive side, they will get Coy Purish involved a little bit. He's played a little bit of offense, not a ton so far. This season, he only has 3 catches, 55 yards, no touchdowns yet, but he is just someone you have to be aware of. They're trying to use him more in a Travis Henry type of role, but still not getting as many reps on offense. But on defense, he's still as fantastic as ever. He is their 3rd leading tackler. second in solo tackles. I mean, he's a fantastic football player. 1 sack, no interceptions this year. So that's kind of been the big part of his game that we haven't seen. Don't let him get his first, is all I have to say for Julian saying. But Minnesota is led by Devin Williams. He is their leading tackler this year. He also has 13 solo tackles too. A senior from Dublin, Ohio, so he's going to have the opportunity to really make a statement in this game. He has 31 total tackles. The big thing Minnesota does on the defensive side of the ball is they did a good job getting after the quarterback. So they're actually tied for fourth in the conference in sacks with 14. Um, and that's only 3 behind USC, who leads the conference with 7. It's led by Anthony Smith, 4.5 sacks on the year, and Devin Williams actually has a sack and a half. So they like to blitz him a lot. And again, Anthony Smith has just been fantastic so far for the Golden Gophers. So they will get after the quarterback a lot. That's their calling card. They like to send blitzes. They like to blitz Kirish. That's what they want to do. And I think what you have to understand in this game is that they're going to try and make Julian Saint uncomfortable. And I really think that's kind of the key. If you can make him uncomfortable in this game, then maybe it gives Minnesota a little bit of an outside chance because then you're forcing the Buckeye run game to beat you. And can the Buckeyes run game do enough like they did against Washington? I believe they can, but let's not let it get to that point. But they will try and make Julian Saint uncomfortable. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind about that. And again, Coy Pierce, Devin Williams are the main guys I'm watching there, along with Anthony Smith. So yeah, they do have a pretty solid defense. And again, they haven't played an offense capable of what Ohio State's shown so far this year. But the one thing I'll say about the Ohio State offense, and I think this needs to be overstated, some people are saying that Julian Saint's missing the deep passes. Others are saying that they're just being too conservative. I think it's a little bit of both. You can see when Saint is pressured or there are a lot of men um, crowding him when he is in the pocket. He does tend to panic a little bit. That's not really doesn't really worry me. I mean, he's a redshirt freshman. I mean, you're gonna have growing pains with that. But at the same time, you have a situation where I do think the coaching staff is being more conservative with him. And I said this on Twitter, and if you don't follow us yet, be sure to add the SG_podcast. I just think you need to, at some point, really let the training wheels off of Julian saying he's going to make mistakes at some point, but this offense doesn't reach its full potential. I'm not saying it doesn't mean you don't win a national championship this way. I don't think you reach your full potential with Julian saying unless you take off the training wheels and let him be who he is and let him throw the ball all over the place. I think that's really what they need to do here. I don't like the idea of the conservative play calling beating Michigan, um, or perhaps even Penn State. We'll see. We know Penn State has all the issues they do when it comes to big games, but especially against Michigan, you're trying at that point to bully Michigan, and we found out for the last few years that does not work when we try and play their style of football instead of just airing it and throwing it all over the field. So I really want to see them unleash Julian Sane more in this game, and if you have to let the kid play, man. Like, take the training wheels off. I know he's a redshirt freshman, and you don't want him to make crazy decisions, but also I want him to take some shots down the field, take some chances, dude. And I feel like that's on him a little bit, but also it is on the coaching staff. So I want to see them really let Sane loose. And if not, I don't know. I don't know, man. If we still don't see it, if we get to the point where halfway through the season we're still seeing the conservative play calling, then I'll be honest. Even if we're undefeated, I'm going to be annoyed because I don't believe you're getting just the most out of this football team. That's just my honest opinion. And then when you look at the offense, the rest of the offense, Bo Jackson clearly took control of the backfield against Washington. That doesn't really surprise me. Been clamoring for it. They needs at least 20 touches a game, and they have been feeding him. They did against Washington. I thought he responded very well and played very well. Keep building on it. Let him get more and more time, especially against Minnesota. It's going to be a home game too. Just really feed Bo Jackson. That's what I want to see. Feed Bo Jackson. Donaldson will be involved. James Peoples will be involved to some extent. But But at the same time, um, I just think Bo Jackson needs the majority of the touches in this backfield. I do. I think he's just that dynamic of a playmaker, such a difference maker when he is carrying the football. And you can even see it just in little video clips, man. There are just people that just have a knack for the position, and he does. His contact balance, there's a play that sticks out to me, and he didn't gain any yards, but he avoided losing like five yards. The play where he looks like he's stuffed up at the line of scrimmage, bounces it to the outside, nearly gets tackled, still stays up, and tries again to lunge forward after breaking a couple other tackles. He didn't gain yards, but the ability that he has, the contact balance, and the strength to just stay on his feet and try and make a play, it's just very valuable, and I think he's even gonna be more of an asset in the passing game as we move along in the season. You saw him say make a couple checkdowns to him. There were a couple times there where he kinda got him crushed on those throws, but overall, I love what I'm seeing from Bo Jackson. I hope it builds. I hope we see more and more of him because I think we need to. And then in the passing game, Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, continue to feed him. I'm expecting more Tate in this game. Didn't see a lot of him against Washington. Saw a lot of Jeremiah Smith. You actually saw a decent amount of Brandon Enos, so I want to see if that builds a little bit more. But then this caused a lot of controversy. I didn't realize it was actually controversial when I said it. Will Kazmarek and Max Clare. Okay, right now, Will Kazmarek is out snapping Clare by a large margin. People are saying, well, that doesn't mean he's tight end one. Okay, here's the thing. The snap percentage does equal most likely who is starting. That's the reality. You can choose to take that however you want. Right now, Will Kazmarek is the tight end one in this offense. He is 7 yards short in receiving yards compared to Claire. They have Claire has one touchdown, Kazmarek has one touchdown. Kazmarek has two less receptions. I mean, you look at it, it's nearly identical in the passing game. In the run game, they clearly prefer Will Kazmarek. He's a better run blocker. But right now, that's where it stands. Some people don't want to believe that for whatever reason. But right now, Will Kazmarek is the tight end one. I want to see if something changes on Saturday. I want to see if Max Clare is involved a little bit more in the passing game. It seemed like he was against Washington. Let's see if that role grows. If it doesn't, I'm telling people, I think Will Kazmarek might be their favorite tight end. And again, and I don't understand why that's controversial. I really don't. I want to see Max Clare in the field more too, but if he's not going to be there, if they're not going to play him, they're going to play Kazmarek, then that's what they're going to do. So I don't have a problem with it either way as long as they're performing. So again, I don't understand why so many people got so heated over this argument. If you guys can go see it on Twitter. Just thought it was kind of crazy. All I posted was saying, "Will Kazmarek is the tight end one that no one expected." Yeah, no one expected that. Everyone expected Max Clare to dominate, and it's been kind of the complete opposite of that. But anyway, I want to see how the tight end battle reps unfold as the season goes forward, especially against Minnesota. Other than that, offensive lines continue to play well. In the defense, I want to see pressure on Drake Lindsay. He's more of a statue in the pocket. He is more of a just a pure pocket passer, complete opposite of Damon Williams that they saw last week. I want to see them get pressure on Matt Patricia, get guys after him and make him uncomfortable early. And then I want to see a turnover or two. I feel like we haven't seen a lot of turnovers from the Buckeye defense this year. I want to see more of that. I really do. I saw that Ryan Day also mentioned they will be sticking with Brandon Enos as the punt returner, even though he fumbled against Washington. It is what it is. I've pretty much made peace with Brandon Enos as the punt returner because we can complain about it or we can not like it all we want. It's clear that's going to be his role, and we're just going to have to accept it because they won't put Caleb Downs back there. I don't really understand why, unless you just don't want him to get hurt. But at the same time, when he was back there, he returned a touchdown against Indiana, and it was a huge spark for the Buckeyes at that point in time and really helped them take control of that game. I would love to see Caleb Downs back there more. That's not going to happen. I don't really want to put Jeremiah Smith back there. I know some people do. I'd put Bryson Rodgers out there personally. I think he'd be really good in that role, but I think they want another way of getting Brandon Enos involved. Just the football in his hands because he might just because he's not getting as many receptions on offense. Um, and so that's at least what I see there on the offensive side of the ball. And as far as this game goes, I do think the Buckeyes are going to control this game pretty well. Believe it or not, Ohio State's actually won 13 straight against Minnesota, and only 2 of those matchups have been, by single digits. So, they have really, really dominated the Golden Gophers in recent years. Actually, the last Minnesota win came in 2000, when John Cooper was the head coach of the Buckeyes, and they lost, um 29-17. So it's been a while. Ohio State's actually won 29 of their last 30 games and is 47-7 overall against Minnesota. I'm expecting more dominance on Saturday night. Expecting the shoe to be rocking. It is a night game. I'm excited to be there. I'm really looking forward to it. Buckeyes are 23.5-point favorites in this game. I want to say they'll cover. It's just at the same time, I don't know what I'm expecting from this offense. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna still say the Buckeyes cover. I will. I think they're gonna end up winning this game. I'm trying to think of a good score here. It's tough because what do I expect from the offense? Do I expect them to go out and light it up, or do I expect to be more conservative? And I'm torn on what I think about that. I'm gonna say Buckeyes 42 and Minnesota 10. Minnesota 10. I think they get a touchdown. I don't think it's gonna be a red zone touchdown. I think that streak is gonna live on for the Buckeye defense, but, I just think that Minnesota will get some points. They'll probably be on a busted coverage or something, kinda like we saw that long run from Jonah Coleman last week against the defense. That's kinda what I expect. Big play to happen and end up in a touchdown, and then they end up with a field goal. So I do expect the Buckeyes to cover, and I do expect the Buckeyes to win this week, but anyway, I appreciate you guys tuning in for this Ohio State versus Minnesota game day preview. We really appreciate everyone that's still tuned into the show. I know again, it hasn't been as like regular, at least with the live shows. Do want to get back to doing that when we are able to do that. So be on the lookout for announcements there. Be sure to drop a like on YouTube. Really would appreciate that support over there on the channel. And then again, any audio listeners, go ahead, do that favor. This helps way more than you guys can ever understand. Go ahead, give us that 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Again, Michigan fans really tank the rating. We want to show them that Ohio State fans are better, and that they're supportive of their shows. So go ahead and do that for us. We really would appreciate it. We'll be back next week for your Ohio State game day preview. Might have a live show. We'll just kind of see how things play out. If we're able to, we will have a live show. If not, we'll just have your regular game day preview. But again, thank you guys all so much for your support that you show us. We always appreciate everything you guys do. As always, go Buckeyes.